Right, catch-uppy time. You'll have to excuse me because I'm dying. Actually dying. I'm choking on something. But anyway, catch-up time for Maver Match This, which has just happened a week ago. Literally last Saturday, just gone. Match This final up at Hayfield Lakes, which I reckon I say this about every final, but it is the best one. It's just, Hayfield couldn't be more perfect, and particularly now that they've got it on Adams Lake as well, the two Adams pools, Big and Little Adams. They split the match between those. It's two lakes, but it's not. It's still one lake sort of thing. It's attached. It's incredible. It literally is. It's a surprise every time. A winner comes from a different peg every time, be it the final or the open matches before it. It's so good, and there's so many. It's the only one I ever want to be in. Like, genuinely, if I could pick a final every year, what do I want to be? I want to be a Maver on there, because it's just so good. And very much the type of fishing that I enjoy the most. So, anyway, on to it. In the run-up, we'd been twice, as you lot have seen. We'd fished, or if you haven't seen, all the members have seen, obviously. We did 2 live matches, or 2 practice matches leading up to it. Both of them had gone phenomenal. So we'd been second in one of them with 220-odd pound. Andy Bennett had won that one. And then I won the next one on the Bank Holiday Monday just before it. I managed to win that one with 270-odd pound. Absolutely crazy fishing. And it had been quite varied as well, the methods. In that with Hayfield, that the key thing at Hayfield is fishing the methods that are correct for the day. I know that sounds very, very basic, but it really is. You can't be stubborn there because it's so deep. If the fish don't want to be on the bottom, you can't fish on the bottom. I mean, you have to fish in the way that the fish want to, where they want to be, sort of thing. You have to target them in the right way, which is great. I mean, very, very technical carp fishing that you've got to open your eyes and swap about all day, do the right thing. And yeah, things we'd caught on all sorts. Really had from 40-pounder skimmers on a top kit to a load of carp shallow to just everything had been good. We're all right, Rich. He's not doing your head in, the man and the tractor. He's all good. He's going. He's off. Might run Andy over because he's over that way. Final itself came about really quick, all lovely, all run so smoothly and easily. I actually love that one because it's drawn in the morning. I mean, I do like the excitement of drawing the night before, and I think that's great for fish show. But for the actual fishing match side of things, I do like it in the morning because it means I get a little bit of sleep the night before because I'm not thinking about me peg. So drawing in the morning up at Hayfield on the stage we all went. I was second in the bag to draw, second to qualify back in, I think in March I qualified at Westwood. So second to draw, went straight in, drew peg 13, Match This 13, which was peg 39. Really, really good peg at Hayfield. It's on the first practice match that we fished and we filmed. Bennett had actually won off that peg. The previous day, John Arthur had qualified for Maver final itself off that peg. It had been really, really good. A very, very steady area of the lake with a southerly wind. It was right. When the weather was a bit cooler, a bit more overcast with a breeze, with the southwesterly, as I say, it blows into that bank. Absolutely phenomenal when it blows into that bank. But, however, on the day, it was a bit different. It was actually a northeasterly wind, but there wasn't any. I mean, it was a northeasterly, which, in fact, I'm not even going to say it was northeasterly. There was just no wind. That's how it was on the day. There was a random breeze blowing different directions all day. There was no specific wind on the day. Very flat, very high pressure, very calm, which I still fancied it massively. When I sat on my peg, really, really, really did fancy it. It looked phenomenal. For those that don't know, the lakes, obviously, it's 2 separate lakes, but with a join in them, but I'm on the spit in the middle. So for that area on Match This, it's all barriered off, so there's no crowd behind you. So the 6 pegs that are on the spit, 3 each side, they're very much left alone. Really, really nice. I've got the crowder 30 metres to my right out the way. Brilliant. You just feel like it's a fishing match. It's not like fish show with the chaos. It's a proper fishing match. So you feel you're sat there, all good. Really, really happy. Set up kitchen sink, as you do. Literally everything just in case. But at the start of the match, it was a joke, wasn't it? Rich has obviously sat with me as my bank runner, and I think I said to you like 5 minutes before, it can't be this easy, can it? Because there were that many carp in front of me. They were just sat everywhere. I was like, it can't be like this. Unfortunately, it wasn't like that either. But that's how the day turned out. It's fishing-wise, there's not a lot to talk about. It was weird in that, it wasn't weird. It was just the standard match I expected it to be. For me, it was start to finish shallow. Let's say I have had a dabble on the deck long, missed a couple. In fact, no, let's go into a bit more depth. What my choice was the plan was for me day was to throw some casters short for skimmers. Never came into it that. We had 5 minutes on it, it wasn't the one. After that, it was short with pellets, long with pellets, down the edge with hard pellets. Hard pellets everywhere was definitely the way to go. Never fished short all day, never even tried it, just because I didn't have time to sort of do it with the way my match meant. And long, I fed 4 mils. So on my long line, I do like feeding 4 mils at Hayfield, because for on the bottom, it gets them grubbing a little bit, but it's better for your shallow fish. I feel that 4 mils keep fish better in my peg shallow. It keeps them milling about a little bit more with 4s. I think that was actually an error. I mean, by feeding 4 mils, I didn't actually catch, I think I caught 1 or 2 fish within my feed all day. I think I still caught that if I fished 6 mils, but I've also caught some on the bottom, which I didn't do. Because I fed 4s, there was a couple of fish in my peg early on the bottom, and I couldn't catch them because there were too many options, and my bait wasn't standing out enough. So I think with 6s, I'd have caught a few fish on the bottom. That's me. In hindsight, that was a mistake. But my day literally went start to finish, pretty much, just fishing shallow. I mean, either mugging one if I had the opportunity, which I had lots of opportunities. There were lots of fish to be seen, but a very small percentage could actually be mugged. They were really, really tramming through. They were swimming very, very quickly, very just uncatchable. They don't catch when they're swimming that fast. But now and again, you'd have a little period, or you get an odd fish just come in that was right. You can just tell they're just moving a lot slower. They're actually looking for bait. So we nicked a few of them, and I caught very, very, very steadily all day. I mean, I probably had, I'm going to say 4 in an hour. You have an hour? I reckon I caught like 4 carp an hour. It was nice and steady, just odd bites here and there, all shallow, ticked over. The only thing that I couldn't work out was my edge, and I think that's a mistake as well that I had, in that I've got 2 empty pegs and then a willow bush, because I'm on the end of this little bank. I've fished just in between the 2 pegs, so I've gone past the first pallet, which was probably 8 metres away, and I've gone to, I fished probably about 12 metres, and an odd fishes came in, but I didn't catch anything. I mean, because at Hayfield, I think you have to commit to your edge, and you have to feed your 20 pellets, put your rig in, and sit there and wait. I can't do that. I need to feed it, see something happen, drop on, catch one. It wasn't the way of going about. If I put my rig in when there was a carp there, as I put my rig in, it was gone. So it wouldn't settle. I think the mistake I made there was not going long enough. I mean, really, really, I should have gone to the next pallet, fished 16 metres nearly, or whatever it was. Done the same thing there. I reckon I'd have got 1 or 2 bites, but all in hindsight. So overall, finished the match. We knew what we had, because the weight limits are very, very strict at Hayfield, so you have to be really on it with your keep nets. And I knew I had 35, 35, 20 and whatever else. I knew I had about 110 pounds, and thought that could be enough. I mean, all day it had been very, very close. Mike McMillan was the, what were we going to say? Spoken as the leader. He wasn't, but he was spoken. The genuine consensus was that Mike was leading. In hindsight, Bennett was leading all the way through. You know, after probably half an hour into the match, I think I'd got 3 or 4 fish shallow and was doing all right, was probably leading the way then. But Baggers had a lovely, lovely half an hour in for like an hour period, maybe a little bit longer. A great spell on the bottom where he probably caught about 8 or 9 fish, something like that. What are you eating? You pigging out on a little picnic? You're well happy, aren't you? Anyway, yeah, so the Baggers had an absolute phenomenal run on bottom long. I think he had 1 short, maybe 2, and then went long and had this run of fish. And speaking to him after, he had 70 pound at that point. I mean, hour and a half in, he's got 70 pound in the net. He was flying at that point. He was probably 30 pound ahead of everyone, and no one realised really. We thought we were smaller fish, didn't we? Because we couldn't, the way Andy was, it's a bit of a curve, that bank, and there's a big tree, so you can't actually see him very well. And the way he lands fish so smoothly and subtly, and they don't even splash. You think he's flipping foul up one and lost one, don't you? You see him up one, and the next thing he's shipping back out. He's got it in the net, it's done. But yeah, he'd caught really good stamp fish as well, fishing really positive with proper kit. Just gets them in, doesn't mess about. So he was leading. He's led from start to finish technically, and we just haven't realised it, doesn't he? I don't think at any point, once he had that run short, I don't think anyone ever got near him. I think he was always 20 pound plus ahead in hindsight. But anyway, so he's had a lovely start there. And we never thought, we assumed his fish were a bit smaller, and I never thought I thought I was slightly ahead, if I'm completely honest. I probably had a few more fish, but weirdly my fish were a bit smaller. Caught lots of 4 to 6 pound fish, which is quite unusual for mugging at Hayfield, but was what it was. So scales come about. It'd been really, really close behind us. Power had weighed 44 kilo. Then Mike McMillan had just beat him with a bigger 44 kilo. He was next round a bit more. And then Ryan Laycock also weighed 44 kilo, but Mike had just been ahead of the other two. So he was leading up until he got to Bagger. And then Bagger's plonked 57 kilo on the scales. As soon as I heard he'd weighed that, who came to see me? Dale. Young Dale, Shepherd came to see me, said, Bagger's weighed 57. I said, I haven't got that. I knew I didn't have 120 pound because it's not one that you're going to be surprised. You know exactly what's in your net because you're so terrified of going over that 50 pound. So yeah, was what it was. Bagger's weighed 57. My fish went 50 kilo 500, if I remember. So miles off, technically 14 pound off, 15 pound off. It was 3 fish that. I mean, 3 fish on the day that I'd have needed to beat him. I don't know if I could have caught, I don't know. Really don't know. I'm not upset about the result. I don't feel like there was a distinct, you did this wrong, you'd have caught more. It was a really, really strange one, and I'm still very calm about it, unusually. I'm very self-critical like that, and it's, I don't know, just, you put Bagger on a good peg, ultimately, it is game over. That's the way it works, simple as. It is nigh on impossible to beat when you give him a chance like that, and say that's the way it worked out. So, scales carried on. I don't think anyone else was close. No, Sam Brown and Jimmy Brooks, I think they weighed 40 and 42 kilo, I'm going to say. So, but no one got close. Bagger had absolutely walked it. Fair play to him. Well deserved. He was desperate to get his name on that one. So that was almost the one missing within his CV, that. So he's got that one done, as it was always going to happen. Overall, as I said, it's phenomenal. The way it fishes for a fishing match, for Bagger to win with 57, then me with 50, and then there to be 1, 2, 3, 5 that I can think of, possibly more, 40 plus kilo weights. It's just, and those 40 kilo weights, say the 44 kilo, so what are they, 95, 96 pound, even they're only 3 to 4 fish away with Hayfield fish standards from winning. So everyone always feels, going into an hour to go with a match, you always feel like you've got, within reason, you always feel like you've got a chance at Hayfield because the fish are so big and they can just arrive and you get a little run. It's just phenomenal. And it was an absolute privilege to be involved with that. And the Maver gang do such a good thing with Steve Belly and Andy Kinder, Al Bobby Dyer, Mr. Maver. They just run a phenomenal match at a phenomenal venue as well that Noli and Robin should be beyond proud of with how good it fishes. So yeah, I'm feeling very sucky up in that one, but it is, isn't it? It's one I love doing. Like really, really, if you haven't had a go, have a go at the Maver competition or go and watch it next year because yeah, it is absolutely awesome and I love being part of it. So yeah, that's the catch up. Next we got Fish Midlands after I've bashed this bloke up off the next peg in the latest challenge that we're about to do right now. Right, you lot, very, very sorry to interrupt your video watching.
How dare you?
Quickly, if you haven't already noticed, we have managed to write a book, haven't we?
Yes, we have, Jamie.
Which is full of all our very bestest methods and features or whatever else we do on this wonderful subject of fishing. So if you haven't had a look already, go and have a look at winningways.shop and buy one for yourself.